address the issue of captivity. He would occupy himself as best he could and continue to resist by all means necessary. He would not cooperate, and he would make every effort to escape. The routine had served Milton well during his SAS selection and some of the more extreme resistance to interrogation training he had taken part in as a soldier. But the situation he found himself in now was very different. He had been captured by the group, reeled in after years of operating below the surface of things, in the margins and grey spaces where he could blend in and vanish from the world. He had never been fooled by his success in evading them. He knew it was just postponing the inevitable, that they would never stop looking and that, eventually, they would find him. He was an expert at disappearing, but even the very best had to surface from time to time, and that, when ranged against the bottomless budget and facilities of the group and the firm within which it was accommodated, would be the time that they found him. It was exactly what had happened. He had gambled by coming to Scotland, and, like Icarus, flying too close to danger had been his undoing. Björn Dawson had captured him and flown him to London. He shook out the aches and pains in his arms and shoulders and dropped to his hands and knees again. He stretched out, bearing his weight on his toes and fingers, and dipped down to begin another set. Dawson came to collect him later. Milton was sitting on the bed, his back against the wall, his eyes closed as he worked on his breathing. He heard the rattle of the lock and opened his eyes as the door was pulled back. The big Icelander filled the doorway from top to bottom and side to side. He wasn't armed, but Milton wasn't particularly surprised by that. He was younger than Milton and certainly bigger and stronger. Milton might have been able to fight his way free, but even if he did, where would he go? He didn't know where he was being held, and he was quite sure that Dawson would not be the extent of the staff here to guard him. There was nothing else for it. Control had him, and unless she made a mistake, he had no choice but to accept that fact and behave accordingly. "Up," Dawson said. Milton stood. "Where are we going?" "She wants to talk to you." "How long have I been in here?" "We flew down on Saturday night." "I know that. What day is it now?" "Wednesday," he said. "Come on, move it. She doesn't like to be kept waiting." Chapter 2. Lucy had been here so many times before that the sessions had all blurred into one. He saw Waller once a week for therapy, and his psychiatrist Dr. South once a month to make sure that the drugs he was taking were having the desired effect. He had been optimistic when the treatment plan had started, but that was a long time ago. Any hopefulness had long since been scoured away by the numbing lack of progress. He had been honest at the start, telling both his therapist and psychiatrist exactly how he was feeling, but in recent weeks he had just gone through the motions. He had made the appointments, told South what he needed to hear to get more pills, told Waller that he valued their sessions, then left them both until the next time. It was a grind, with no prospect of anything ever being different. He had reached the decision that he was a lost cause, that his mental illness was beyond repair, and that there was no reason to draw out the agony. He flushed the pills down the toilet and made up his mind. He would do something else about the cause of his problem, something that he should have done weeks ago, months ago. He looked up at the light above the door, saw it change from red to green, and got to his feet. Yes, he told himself, as he reached for the door handle. This will be the last hour that I waste here. "Hello, Rufus," Waller said from behind his desk. "Please, take a seat." Lucy sat down. The room was just the same as it always was. The same couch, the same...